known as the CEO of Self Love. If you're joining in for the first time, welcome to the family of healing, self love, and motivation. And if you're returning, thank you so much for the continuous love and support that you are showing me. Today, we're going to be talking about step parenting. And I want to share my own opinions and thoughts about step parenting, my own experience on step parenting, and also because of a recent video that I did a duet on where a lady was saying that she's a step parent of 5 children, and she discovered that along the way while she was married to this man. So was he found out Taylor, she found out by herself that she's a step parent of 5 children, and she has 2 children, and all in all there are 7 children in her family, and she loves them and she's accepted all of them, and how she found those kids is one of the reasons why she loves them so much. I did a duet, I didn't say anything on it, but I had a lot to share, and a lot of people came there like, your silence is too loud. Why are you not saying anything? What is your thought about this whole thing of, getting into a relationship and finding out that you're a step parent of 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 children while you are in the marriage? What is your thought and opinion? And I felt like maybe a 1 minute long video is not going to do justice for me because I have so much to share on step parenting. And I feel like if you also a step parent and you want to share your own experience, you're more than welcome to do that with us. But I'm also going to share mine, and hopefully we can help each other and also help those who are step parents out there to see how they maneuver their way out of this whole step parenting thing, and also to be honest with one another to say, do you really think this is going to work out or not? You get what I'm saying? And also remember that life is not a one size fits all. My experience is not yours and whatnot. But excuse me, but I have my own experience, okay? So I don't know, should I start with my experience or my opinion on the lady that I recently duetted? Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining in. Nagi stepchildy, denied before birth. I turned out pretty much okay. Married now myself. Okay. Or if you are also a stepchild, you're more than welcome to request to join the live so that you can share your experience of how it's been like to be a stepchild. You get what I'm saying? So this is not limited to only stepmothers sharing, only children of step parents sharing, only children of only stepchildren. Yeah, whether you're a stepchild, you are a stepmother, for as long as you're a step, for as long as there's a step ladder involved, you're more than welcome to request a live and join and share your experience and your thought and your opinion about the whole thing, okay? Also, even regarding this lady that I duetted recently. Oh, my experience first. Okay, cool. I'll go with my experience first, okay? Then I will go about what I think about the lady who's a step parent of 5 children. My goodness. Okay, so when I was married, I used to be a stepmother, right? A stepmother. I think I share the story every now and then. I share it. When I was married, I used to be a stepmother of 1 child. That when I met my ex-husband, they didn't really have a relationship with the child, and for some reason I felt like, what, I owe it upon myself to actually make this whole relationship thing work. And also being a typical vendor girl, in my culture, those who know better will come and rectify me and correct me where you feel like I'm not saying it the way it's supposed to be. But in my culture, a child belongs to the man, meaning that usually the child uses the father's surname, and using the mother's surname is like an abomination. It's more like the mother slept with the father. That's why you are not, the child is calling the mother's surname. You get what I'm saying? So every child belongs to their father. And obviously, these things don't apply anymore in these days because, we are a generation that just doesn't give a damn, and also we have evolved so we can do whatever we want with our kids. So growing up in a vendor family, you would find that maybe somebody has 2 3 kids, different daddies, and these kids are all using their father's surnames. It was not an abomination, it was a norm because the child belongs to the father. That's why a lot of people would leave their kids behind when women decide to divorce, right, or leave their matrimonial homes. They would always leave the children behind. That's why a lot of kids in vendor homes, okay, not a lot of them, but yeah, quite a number of them are raised by stepmothers, because when a stepmother comes into the family, they find that this man has children, the wife has left, and they left the children behind. So as the stepmother, when you come in, the children of your husband, they are your children. You get to raise those children. So yeah, that has always been a norm. For me, it was a shock when I started mixing with Pedi people, when I found out that actually the child belongs to the mother, even the child uses the mother's surname, and when the mother gets married to a different family, that child uses the family of the like, yeah, I the family uses the surname of the mother's husband. For me, that was like, okay, obviously I can't judge because that's how people do their things differently. Cultures differ. But in my culture, a child belongs to the father and a child uses the father's surname. You get what I'm saying? Regardless of whether the mother and the father are married or not. So, um, with that mentality, with that type of upbringing, with that type of setup, me being a child who was raised by a stepmother to a certain degree, although my stepmother came into our lives when I was like already old, because my mom passed away, right, when I was like 15, 16 there. And then when my stepmother came in, I was like already completing my matric and all that stuff, and I was already going to varsity. But up until today, me and my stepmother, we have a very beautiful relationship. I have a good relationship with my siblings. I think they only figured out that we are not their mother's kids now when they're older, you know, because my stepmother now has twins, that they know their sisters to be us. You understand what I'm saying? So we grew up under one roof. I know also in other cultures, when a man remarries, that man leaves the kids of the first wife alone and they go start a new family with the new wife. But in my culture, in my Venda culture, that's not how it's done. The father takes the kids, you know. I think that's also one of the reasons why my dad, okay, obviously there are men who run away from their kids, right? But I always speak highly of my dad, of how much of an exceptional man he is, because he chose that he's going to stick with his kids no matter what. So even when we moved homes, like from where we used to stay to a new home that he built, he literally built that home for all of us, and we are all staying in that. When I say I'm going home in December, I'm going home to my mother, to my stepmother, my father, my grandmother, where we are all living happily as a family. Very big family at that. You get what I'm saying? So me having that type of background where I was raised by a stepmother to a certain degree, it kind of made it easy for me to be a step parent myself, because when I got into a relationship with a guy who was a baby, I didn't have babies. And we were like, okay, we're gonna make this relationship work. I really was interested in building a relationship between the child and the father, of which it worked out very well. And when we got married, when I had kids of my own in the relationship, we then, you know, I then asked that we take the child and stay with her because her mom is late and she's staying with her mom's side of the family, wara, you know. But I was like, okay, I really love this. I love the child. I still love the child even now. Because honestly speaking, the only reason why I couldn't adopt the child legally and stay with her was simply because, like, I see myself getting married again in future. I don't think there's any husband of mine who's going to be okay with me bringing my ex-husband's child when this guy also has kids of his own that I must be a stepmother to. And I know for a fact that I'm going to be a damn good stepmother even to the kids of the guy that I'm going to get married to, when, not if, when I get married. Okay? So it didn't make logical sense why I would then want to take my ex-husband's child with me. No matter how painful it is for me to have to let go of this child, I had to let go of the child. The child used to call me mama. She still calls me mama even today, of which it really, really triggers me a lot. But from time to time, I do speak, you know, to the child. And yeah, we had a really good relationship. The child is an angel, and I felt like the way that I was raising her, I know that I found her, she was already old. She was already what, maybe 6, 7, you know. So I felt like the way that I was raising her and her character, like her character, this child, is so beautiful that I would love it to rub off on my kids, or for my kids to look up to her as a big sister, because she's got a beautiful character, and I won't have any problems, you know, having them fall, you know, follow the footsteps of their older sister, because their older sister is such a sweetheart, is such a darling. She's a beautiful, like, guys, now my ex stepdaughter is a beautiful child. Even today, she's still a very beautiful child, a very respectful child. She was even taller than me, but she was beautiful. If you go through my Instagram and my Facebook, because I never delete those are memories, okay, you will probably find her somewhere there, you know. And so me step parenting that child was so easy. And that child, I knew about her when I entered the relationship. And also parenting that child was so easy because she was a beautiful child. So all of those elements really added to me being able to be the best stepmom in the world. Because, you know, so many people would come to me and say to me, ha, girl, yo, where do you get the heart to actually parent somebody else's child? You know, if it was me, I could never do that. I can never be a stepmother. Yo, you just take the child and stay with them. Ah, no, I can't do that. Yeah, wara, you know. And for me, it was like, no, guys, we don't have to do the same thing. For me, being a step parent to this child, it makes sense to me, and also because of how I was raised and the cultural background that I come from, being a stepmother, it's not really a hard thing. And also being able to step parent a child who is this beautiful, it's a blessing, because this child does not give me any problems at all. In fact, it's a blessing for me to have her. So a lot of people used to think that I'm a good stepmom, but okay, I would not want to dismiss myself because I was a good stepmom, because I was a mom to that child. But at the same time, I don't want to give myself all the credit because that child made it easy for me to step parent her. You get what I'm saying? It was easy for me to step parent her. Then it made it look like I'm a good mom, and it made her look like she's a good daughter. So it was really working out for us. And she was so close to me. She was closer to me than she was to her like dad, because they never really had a relationship before that. It was like very crusty, but it worked out perfectly. Like we had a relationship. So now in my household now, before I got divorced, it was a family of 5. It was me, my ex, and the 3 kids. The 1 kid is his from his previous relationship, and the 2 are the ones that we found in marriage. And we were okay. We were happy. Obviously, because of the divorce and everything, I had to let go of the child. It was so painful for me to. I literally felt like the child died. When I had to let go of her, I could not cope, guys. And also, the thing is, I don't really want to go back and dwell too much into the details of my divorce. Everybody knows what happened to me. Everybody knows my story time of me getting divorced and everything. But when my ex had to move out of the house, I literally had to come and ask them, or come and take the child, because I'm not coping financially and everything. I'm not coping with the child. The child is now staying with her mother's side of the family, the same people that she was staying with before I went and I took her to stay with her. So that's why, for me, I'm kind of like in between the fence in terms of my opinion about the lady who is step parenting 5 kids. So now, coming back to that, if this child was a surprise child that I found after I got married, and I find out this guy actually has a child that he was hiding from me, I was obviously not gonna react the same way that I did. I feel like as people, we should give each other an opportunity to decide whether we want to stick out, whether we want to stick it out, whether we want to tolerate this nonsense or not. You get what I'm saying? Like, give me an opportunity to decide if I want to be with you with all your 5 kids or not, instead of you just deciding that you're going to hide it from me and then ambush me into getting married to you, because that's how I feel like. And in as much as I'm saying that my stepchild was a beautiful child, would I do 5 kids who are like her? Absolutely not. No way. There is no way I can do 5. No matter, like I'm saying, my stepchild was a beautiful child, but there was no way I was gonna multiply that child by 5 and say, because of this beautiful character, because it's so easy for me to parent her, then bring all 5 of them here. There's no way I was going to be able to handle all of that. And to top it all off, the child being a surprise child, there is no way. There is no way I could ever tolerate that. So basically, with me, that's just my thoughts to say. Step parenting, it really requires you to have a big heart for you to be able to step parent somebody, and it not being a truthful thing to say, okay, you were not transparent from the get-go. For me, it's a bit questionable, but also because I understand from a stepmother to another to say it really requires a big heart for you to step parent somebody's child. Big ups to those who are able to do it, those who are able to have kids being brought into their marriage while they're there, kids being born, kids who are surprise kids who are hidden, and being able to take all of that with your big heart and move on with your life with all of that. Big ups to you if you're able to do that. So glad. I am not you, but I am not jealous of you. I'm not judging you. I'm happy for you, son. Sibabalwe.
Hi, Madam.
Long time, my
Hey,
darling.
everyone. Hey, it's been long. It's that time of the year
We understand, my
where we
darling.
get busy. Here's a quick question that I have. I don't know if it's selfish or what's going on, but me having a child, I would never marry a person who has a child.
You would never?
Even though I have a child.
Oh, you have a child, but you don't want a guy who has a child. Yes?
I don't want someone who has a child. Reason being, I love my child so much. And I think the only reason I love my child, I'm not fan of kids. In general. I only love my son because I gave birth to him.
Okay. You only
I
love your
love
child
him
because you gave birth to
ngowam,
him.
I don't have a choice ngowam.
Kwamele umthande vele. You have to love that
Ngowam
child.
andina-choice.
Mm-hmm.
Kumele ndimthande, andina-choice.
Sure.
Then I don't know but I would be able to love lo ongasingowam.
Shoo.
Lo ndingamzali.
Shoo.
And I don't even want to test myself to try uba ndingamthanda na.
Mm-hmm. You know what I love?
Makwenzeka sekuthiwe andimthandanga.
Mina, I love you for your honesty, Shem. You know this honesty that you are giving us. It's usually men who are dishonest to say, if you have a child, I don't love your child, leave your child at home, wara wara wara. With us women, we usually tolerate because we are ready. We just wanna belong. We just wanna have a man. And if a man comes with so many kids, we're like, okay, it's fine. But you being honest and saying, I don't want somebody with a child. I love you for your honesty, Sandra Sam. And also,
Yes, another thing I've noticed, Nene.
yes, ma'am.
Another thing, I grew up, we were four ekai. Yes, we are still four. I was the naughtiest of all the children at home. And being the naughtiest, being shower every day, like being a pale shawanga. It's either because ngimoshile something or angenzangi homework or whatever or whatever reason being shower. My mom grew up umuntu oshayayo vele. The other three siblings bebengashaywa ekhaya. And bebengashaywa hayi because mina I was being abused. Bebengayenzi into wrong eshayisayo. Imagine now ngibe umzali oshayayo bese lo oze ngale ndoda kube uye lo gangayo owamabe sweet angangifuzi afuze whoever la afuze khona sekumele ngishaye lo ngimshaye ngale ndlela ngangishaywa ngayo because I don't believe mina I was abused ngangishaywa ngangidiscipline. How is it going to look like if now ngishaya umntana abantu?
Yeah.
Angisho kuzothiwa umntana abantu ngiyamhlukumeza ngoba ngimzali. Uthola ukuthi ngiwumuntu oshayayo vele. So it's such things that I always think of every time I'm thinking of umuntu onomntwana. Mina if akekho umuntu onomntwana la emhlabeni or else if umuntu onomntwana akamfuni umuntu onganamntwana akamfuni umuntu onomntwana amane kuyekwe.
Shoo,
I'm sticking by angimfuni umuntu onomntwana.
Shoo. I love you. Yes.
I don't mind being single. And mind. But my condition, yes, magafike but the condition I have and ngimfuna umuntu onomntwana. Imagine ke sebe 2, sebe 3.
Yes,
yo sebe 5. Yes, when I saw that video.
Yes. So okay, let's put it like this. Let's put you in the position of that lady, ne? Where you get into a relationship with somebody who claims to not have children. Jiggy, when you're in the marriage, you find that this guy has 5 kids. What do you do then?
I am leaving.
Huh?
I am leaving. It's not what I signed up for. It's not what I signed up for. I signed up for a person who does not have kids. And I ask, that's the first question I ask him. Unaba bantwana? No, I don't have. And I tell them the reason Musa is because andimfuna umuntu onomntwana. And by the time I end things, I would have told lo muntu uba ndandichilo. Now it's not a surprise. Ndandichilo andimfuna umuntu onomntwana.
Okay. And then are you planning on having more children? Because if this guy does not have kids...
No, thank you.
Yeah?
No, thank you. Like, I could have more children with a person who doesn't have children. Like, just one more. And I know what I'm done with 2 kids. We are raising just 2 kids.
You're not for this world, Eva. You're not for this world, Nagasana. You are for the next one. But I love you.
I could have one. You're gonna someone who says I can have 1 child. Yes. Then we have 1 more child and then we are done. Because even the economy or whatever, no matter or whatever, considering age, psychological readiness, the finances, I must be a 4. Now, if for the life I want for my children, I can't have more than 3 children. So now, if I'm ready to say I can settle with someone who does not have a child, but is saying that I'm fine with just one more child and I'm done.
I don't know, when you are the president of the women's, like we are being led up because what you are teaching us is exactly how men usually behave. A man will have 5 children, but they would say they want a woman who has no children because they're not settling and they're not gonna stop until they find somebody who is like that. So now, if we as women are getting to a point where we make these decisions and we stick to our guns and say, listen, I'm not tolerating a guy who has a child, love it for you, Sandasami. And I feel like, listen, there's so many. I dated a guy who didn't have kids, ne? And he was stressing me because ufuna umchado, ufuna abantwana. Mina, I have 2 kids. I'm not in a rush to get married. I just came out of another marriage 2 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? So I literally had to let go of that relationship because ufuna izinto that I can't give him. And I would say to him, listen, bra, go find somebody else who does not have kids. Women out there, they would worship the ground of a man who says, I want to marry you. Find somebody who does not have kids with them. Because as for me, I'm not done with kids. I would love to have maybe 1 or 2 kids, ne? But obviously with a very, very the man must have, his brain must work, ne? My 7's medulla. But I would have 1 or 2 more kids with a good man. But otherwise, see, I'm not compromising myself whatsoever. And I am glad that, you know what, there are certain things that you are willing to say, I'm not compromising this for myself. And I love it for you. I love it for you, Shem.
Now, I think between now and the age of 40, I want to have 1 more child. Okay. Married or not, between now and the age of 40. Once I get to 40 without conceiving a child, I'm not having a child. I'm not going to be 50 and have a 10-year-old. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
So between now and the age of 50, I must have a second child.
Okay.
If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, it comes. It doesn't come. It's okay. It's one of those things I would say, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. No, I hear you, Sandasami, and I'm very much in support of. I love where you are. Somebody here on YouTube is saying she doesn't want a guy with children, or she doesn't want to stay with the kids. Oh yeah, that's a very good question, by the way. Somebody's here is asking here on YouTube to say, do you not want a guy who has children, or a guy who is like, let's say the guy has kids, but he's not staying with those kids. He does not have a relationship or connection with those kids. Naya umfuni.
For the fact that those kids are connected to him.
Yo, I know.
Angashona loyo mama loyo kuthi abantwana beze kubababo.
My sister. Eh?
But anything can happen. And I end up stepmothering those children.
So when I into a step, are we food?
I'm not going to step. I am not.
Okay, Sissy, then you get married to a guy who does not have children. The ati cheat outside, baby comes.
That's another thing. Now, I'm not about to have someone who will go around sleeping with other people, and the next thing abuye aphinda zekum ezanzisela nokugula in all of that process. One of the things, infidelity is a deal breaker because ayiko uchita kwe mistake akuko. One thing about me, if I enter into a relationship, whether relationship, friendship, business, whatever, I set out things that I like and what I don't like, what I want and what I don't want, what is a deal breaker, what is not a deal breaker. So when I'm doing something that I said I did not want, it means you did it on purpose. There's no way you didn't know. There's no way you didn't know that I don't like someone ozophumela ngaphandle. So once uphumele ngaphandle, uphume ngaphandle knowing that usibabala kayifuni lento, but I will do it either way because I don't care about how she feels. That's how I take it. I told you this is how I feel. This is what I expect. You tell me what you feel, what you expect, and I will do exactly that. So if you do something the opposite of what I had said, it means engqondweni yakho you said usibabala kayifuni lento, but ngizoyenza either way because I don't care about how she feels. Because uchilo wathi akayifuni.
Yeah.
That includes going outside and having extra relationships ngaphandle. You knew very well that andiyifuni and I won't tolerate it. Wayenza either way. Hoping that I won't find out, and when I do find out, ndizakushiya. Because akukho ukuchitha kwe mistake. Akukho, it never happened nge mistake.
Hayi niyeva ke guys, usibabala uza kushiya. She will leave you by the altar. You will wait there for her, she will be gone.
Because even with me, I don't cheat in relationships. I don't cheat because I know I don't like being cheated on. Someone
Mama,
who's in a relationship.
wait, here's a comment for you, Sandra Sam. Uthi umuntu apha ku YouTube. She doesn't want a guy with kids, but she wants a guy who's going to. She expects the guy to accommodate her kid.
I know I'm accommodator wami umntwana. I don't mind noba ngam-accommodatanga.
Uthi, I think it's a good thing that she doesn't want to be a step parent because it's giving controlling. Okay. No, you know what? I hear you very well. You know, for me, I would say that in answering that person, adding on to what you've already said, when are you coming with a baby? It's up to that person who does not have a child whether they accept you with a baby or not. If they don't want a baby now, if they don't want a person with a baby now, they must run away from you the same way you are saying now you don't want somebody with a baby. It's that simple, ne?
Yes, andithi yena itype yakhe ngabantu abanabantwana uze kume ndazi banomntwana. Because that's the first thing. Mina, even I remember I just changed it recently. In my TikTok for the longest time, I was Maga Itai. I know Maga Itai before I'm Sbabalo, Maga Itai. Even people, Mama, when they greet me, hi Mama Itai, I know everyone, hi Mama Itai. Because I am Itai's mother. So someone who came to me at, I want to be in a relationship with you, I want to marry you, that person is marrying umama ka Itai.
Yeah.
Itype yakhe leyo. Ubone itype yakhe uba ndifuna umntwana omntwana waya straight etyping yakhe.
Sure, girl. Ndiyakuva man. You spoke once, I heard you twice. Ndikuva. Hey, kakuhle, I hear you very well. I hear you very well, Sandra Sam. And I love it for you. I love you for being able to stick to your guns to say this is what I want and I'm not compromising, because as ladies in most cases we compromise a lot. I can't imagine waking up one morning, I have 7 step kids and I must be accommodative. You know that saying that when you put a frog inside hot water and you keep turning up the heat, it keeps adjusting its temperature until it's too late for it to jump out. It's already burnt, the water is already boiling. So you don't have to be a frog, Kasana. If the heat is being turned up, you just jump out.
Maybe with my life work, I'm teaching grade 1. Children from 7 o'clock until 2 o'clock every day of my life. So imagine no energy engako that I have to come back from home, pin and kuza batana by 7. I one of those ones by 4. I love them. I love them so much because I know at the end of the day they are going back to their mothers. These ones, they are stuck with me.
But wait. Mario, stepchildren are also going to go back to their mothers.
If they are raised by me,
you'll make that exception to say, listen.
They come for holidays. While now I want to get away from children. For holidays, now my son knows once the school closes, we are going to go work, because if I'm saying I want to rest from children, I don't want to hear anyone who say teacher or mama or whatever, or auntie or whatever.
Mama, you need to change your career. Maybe you'll reconsider, yes, because the problem is you deal with children every day. So maybe if you change.
I love them. From 7 until 2 o'clock, I love them so much.
Your love is timed. Your life is a timer.
It's timed until 2 o'clock. They know as well. If I'm working at the mall, go 5 o'clock, and the kids, there's no child who will say, hello, teacher. They know. Hi, Babala. Hi, my baby. They know. Outside the gate of the school, I'm not teacher.
You are Babala.
Yes, I even teach them my name to say outside the gate of the school, you refer to me by my first name. Inside the gate of the school, I am teacher. So they even know I've trained them like that.
Yeah. No, I hear you, Standosami, and I love it for you. I see there's a lot of people who are loving you for who you are. Joseph Babala, I'm even shocked that you have a child, but yeah, I kind of understand. Sibabalo has shared her story so many times regarding her having a child, guys. And I feel like as women, we need to get to a point where we are very much unapologetic about our preferences. We don't have to make. I love it for you, Sibabalo. You are literally our president, because we need to get to a point where as women we are not apologetic about our preferences, because when a man says I want a thick woman, he wants a thick woman. He's not going to compromise. When he says I want a thin one is not compromising. When he says I want a woman who does not have kids, he's not compromising. But every time when we now have to be compromising, we have to be answering a lot of questions like, okay, do you have kids? Okay, do you love yourself? Okay, what happened to you when you were growing up? But when men have preferences, they never get to be asked all these questions that we get to be asked. You get what I'm saying?
Once we get to a point where we love ourselves enough, this is what I like, this is what I love, this is what I will stick by. Gufana, what I've noticed, if a woman cheats, few men forgive, very few. Very few. Nah, Baba forgive her because maybe the woman has more money than them, or they that inferiority factor, or whatever they have. But a man who knows his worth and understands and no and you getting nonsense. You cheat, you go. But Tina, we go through men's phone just so we can cry and go back.
Yeah. Hey, shame, man.
If we start loving ourselves enough to say, this is what I want and I will stick by it. Some people, yes, until they are 30 and they think nobody is going to marry them. Then if nobody's going to marry you, then it's fine. Let's not tell long with soshata sonke. Some people would end up just because you funa So if you had a list of 5 things that you don't want, uzo remove one, uzo die if you one and janchan or whatever, until we are able to say, this is what I want and I will stick by it. It will be.
Yeah.
There was another thing, and single. I'm not scared of being single.
Yes, that's power right there.
I remember someone who had said that we had a topic about men cheating. That is Then if I couldn't cheat, then I might as well just
No, I hear you.
He was single.
Yeah, a lot of us really
single. That's around this single day one.
Absolutely, I agree with you. A lot of us really tolerate nonsense all in the name of we don't want to be single. We want to have some place to belong to, and if there's nobody to belong to, we are scared of being asked. Why don't you have somebody? What is this? What is that? But no, we don't have to tolerate nonsense all in the name of wanting to belong. You are fine by yourself. Find somebody. It's a luxury. It's not a matter of when they leave you, you can't breathe there. Your oxygen. Nobody's your oxygen. Okay.
I
have to love you guys and leave you. I think this was a very sweet and short and straight to the point. Unfortunately, if there's anybody else who would like to join in, we'll have to reschedule. I don't think I'll be live tomorrow because I'll be all over the place. I do apologize for that. But yeah, just for this whole December, guys, just look forward to random lives, because I don't think we're going to be able to do that whole thing of sticking to Thursdays, because December manje, it's hectic, it's busy. I don't want to promise people that on Thursdays I'll be here, because nobody will even be watching. So just look out for random lives. Whenever there's something which is like a burning topic which is arising, whenever I get a chance, I'm going to plug and play, and then we go live and we talk about it and we discuss. Just be ready to join in, to share, and also to, be a guest. All right. With that being said, thank you so much for joining in. Those who joined in late, please go watch the whole thing on YouTube, because it was being recorded simultaneously. I love you guys. God bless you and good night. Where do we end the live? I don't even know where to end the live. How possible is it? Yeah, nah. I'm telling you the truth. I can't see where the live is supposed to be ended on this side. It's fine. I'll end it here.